Welcome to Techturks. Today I have Ifeoma Malo. Ifeoma Malo is the founder of Clean Hub Technologies. Clean Hub Technology is involved in providing energy access and also a sustainable environment so that our generations can be here in the future, living and breathing clean air. Ifeoma, thank you for coming up to Techturks. So Clean Hub Technology, how old and why Clean Hub Technology? Because it's just, well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really exciting to be here, and I'm a fan of the program already. So we've been around since 2016, but became fully operational in 2018. And what we do really is 5 things. We do everything except the non-engineering or installation parts of the renewable energy space. So we do a lot of work around research and data analytics to provide that support and data for the sector. We do a lot of advocacy and training. Then we provide enterprise development and enterprise support, so business development support. We run a livelihoods program focused on women and youth and teaching them how to use clean technologies to start other businesses, whether it's catering, whether it's to become a vulcanizer, so micro businesses, and how do they then create sustainable businesses out of that. And then we support a lot of the installers, the developers and distributors in the space with everything else except, like I said, the engineering part. So everything from demand simulation, customer acquisition, those sort of things, we provide those support.
I mean, I have this vision where one day, like a solar energy pack or devices get cheaper and that we can power more energy. We'll be powering instead of getting those inverted power banks, we'll have solar driven. What needs to happen for that to happen?
Usama, the funny thing is there's a lot already happening. And I think one of the places where we continue to have a challenge in our own ecosystem, in the decentralized renewable energy ecosystem, is we don't tell our stories enough. And that's why this is such a great opportunity for us. So I've already told our industry association and our networks that this is happening, and we'll be looking out for the video so that we can watch it and everybody can learn from it. But the truth is, for instance, a lot of the discos are now have this arrangement that they're making with large mini-grid developers, where it's not just, especially for rural communities, right? Because what happens is if we can free up power from rural and peri-urban communities, two things it does. It frees up money for infrastructure development for the grid. Yeah. And then it also frees up a lot of power that is always sort of directed there, because we have to share power. When they say they're doing load shedding, it's because they have to carry power from one place to the other. And so a lot of discos are signing this sort of PPA agreements with mini grid developers. It's happening in Kaduna, it's happening in Kano, it's happening in Jos Plateau, happening in Ondo and Benin as well. And so what that means is that the discos have realized that there's a limitation to how much they can electrify a lot of the communities or businesses in their catchment area. And so this arrangement provides them the avenue, not just to get more customers on board, right? Because again, for discos, there's a huge thing around customer acquisition and making sure people pay.
I don't know how much I am from a fossil or carbon, like from carbon footprint. I don't know how much I'm saving. I don't know how I can actually that and tell those stories so people can say, this is how much, if I was using the conventional way of powering my office, this is the carbon unit I would have used, and this is what I have saved. Even from a digital perspective, where we're paperless, we're cashless, and so those are things that But how can we monetize, or how can not? I think monetize is the wrong word. Yeah. How can we say that? Yeah, we monetize it. People can say that because we're being sustainable. This is what we're getting, and other people will say, okay, I want to do that too. I want to invest in it, because the investment is. I think the investment and the education is what is actually. Like we haven't actually solved yet here in Nigeria.
If I take nothing else away from this session that I'm having with you, Uzoma, is that we do have our work cut out for us, because there's a lot of work going on to support companies and organizations when it comes to calculating their reduced emissions and carbon capture, and using it to tell their stories and using it to raise investments, because the whole carbon capture industry is actually an investment raising tool, right? So if your organization, your institution is able to show that this is how much you've reduced in emissions, there's a lot of climate, financing that you can access, not specifically even to do climate related things, but to even carry on your everyday business. It's just that you are actually meeting the carbon emission reduction goals, and that this makes you No, I'm serious, and I'm happy to share with you. I mean, I have your email. I will share with you what those organizations are, and then they put you into the pool of, oh, these are the and I, now that you're saying it, and I'm thinking, I don't even see a lot of Nigerian companies, just a few in that list on that platform. So this is really a great opportunity because there are few of them. There are few companies here in Nigeria, across West Africa, that are helping to do that carbon capture storytelling for organizations and businesses. And like I said, it's such a strong investment. I mean, after COP and all the noise that went on with COP, think about the story that you can tell if you show that you're one of the leading organizations doing a lot of work around reduced emissions.
So I know that Clean Hub technology is about impact. And like when I think of the telecoms industry, and one of the things that they were successful at doing was, bringing like the ability to connect down to the bottom of the pyramid. And I think that involves innovations like, being able to charge pay as you go, pay as you go. Now, if I look at, if I take Lagos, for example, people move from Ikeja to Victoria Island, right? So they live in Ikeja, but they work in Victoria Island. So but they are paying for electricity 24/7 where they live. Now, I mean, are we going to see a time where we adopt like lessons from other industries and say, you know what, I'm going to pay for 2 hours of electricity today, right? And I'm going to that instead
because that's all I need. That's all I need for the day.
Yeah, so instead of forking out like a large chunk of money that I could use later, I can just pay for what I need. Secondly, affordable. How do we leverage finance to give people power? How do we use technology to do that?
But that's also because of the, peculiarities of the Nigerian electricity market at the moment. I feel like we're going to get there. I mean, Uzoma, even for us to get to where we are, where renewable energy is now even talked about, there was a lot of jostling when this industry really started to take off in 2015 and 2016. And a lot of the discos and gencos not being very happy with the incursions. Now, 6 years later, we're now having partnerships and PPP agreements with them about shared models and, shared business models and operating models. This was not something we conceived would happen this soon. So if I had to hazard a guess, and with the amount of IOCs now that are looking at decarbonizing their own industries, I feel like this energy transition is going to, which is why for those who are finance experts, this is the right industry to be looking at this time. I think it's going to unlock several new opportunities and several new business models, and people are going to be looking for more financing. So this idea that you have that people can purchase electricity for exactly what they need and have it be financed, I think that's a novel idea. I don't know that the people who are in charge, in the electricity sector, we talk about cabals a lot. Yeah. I don't know that they're ready for that conversation now, but maybe in another 2 years they would. And so what I would want to even further with you beyond this call is actually to put together the idea of how this might work, and also begin to think about talking to the right people, because when it then takes off 2 years from now, you're then ready to say, well, we've been doing all the groundwork. And so these are some of the opportunities I think, programs like yours are throwing up that people can sort of target.
So my final question, last question. So, I mean, this time next year, what would be a win for Clean Hub technology? What would you have wanted to achieve? I think, yes, we've had a good 12 months.
Well, we've been talking. I mean, we had an expansion plan that was supposed to kick off the Q3 of 2020, and then COVID sort of disrupted everything. So we're now deciding to kick that off this year, and that expansion plan has us in about 6 other countries, all West African countries. Actually 5 West African countries and 1 East African country. So if by 2023 we look back and we're able to successfully kick off in those 6 countries, that will be like a blessed win. If we even kick off in 4 out of the 6 successfully,
Excellent. Ifeoma, thank you for talking to us on Techturks. It's been like enlightening. We'll continue the conversation offline.